All right, this is going to be a voltage regulator test. So when you had your alternator apart, part of what we wanted you to do is make sure your voltage regulator is kicking the field off at the right voltage. So we got 12 volt alternator here, 12 volt regulator that we mounted onto our little test fixture. Um, we're going to be able to adjust the voltage going into it. So this little voltage generator right here, this DC power supply, is going to replicate the voltage coming out of the diode trio. Now, out of the diode trio, it's going to come through in here on this red line, and it's also going to send voltage to my my field coil, right? So there'd be positive brush, field coil, and then negative brush is going to come through to my voltage regulator. And inside of here, because this is an A type, there's going to be a switch in between this lead and the ground from my DC power source. So if I flip this on, and I turn my voltage meter on, I'm going to be able to turn up my voltage, and you're going to see this bulb start to glow. That's going to replicate the magnetic field in my rotor. So the brighter the bulb gets, the stronger that magnetic field would be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the coarse dial here until I get about 12 volts on the voltmeter. So start turning it up and we'll see the bulb start to glow soon. Wait for the voltmeter to catch up. Get this up to about 12 volts. Oh, a little too far. All right, fine. I'm going to stop there at 13 volts because this thing's finicky. And as you can see, that bulb is really bright. Now, on a 12 volt system, I'm going to want my voltage regulator to kick out somewhere between 13.8 volts and 14.8 volts. Now, not that you can see this really well because of the glare, but this voltage meter right here, oh, it's got a dead battery, of course. Take it back on. Right now it's reading 13.15 volts. Now I can use my fine dial here to slowly turn up that voltage. Get up 13.3, 13.4, keep on going until that bulb kicks out. So you see right there at about 14 volts, the bulb turned off. That means that I'm at regulated voltage. I don't need to induce any more voltage into the stator, so I can kill the magnetic field in the rotor. And then if I come back down, I use up some voltage, bring my voltage back down. It should kick in right again at about 14.02, 14.01, and back and forth. Now what's happening in here is it's going back and forth between those two states hundreds of times or thousands of times a second to try and maintain my magnetic field just strong enough to produce or to keep my alternator's voltage right around that 14 volts. That's going to be more than enough to power up all my lights, my radio, my fucking blower motor, my heated seat, and charge the battery up at the same time. So that right there is a voltage regulator test of just that regulator on its own. Now you don't need anything fancy to do this. As long as I've got a variable DC voltage supply, a voltmeter, and a bulb, you look through the lab, you can set this up anywhere in your shop.